all of the different parachute activities you've done, which there's been quite a few of them, is there an incident that stands out as being the most close call, pucker factor, almost died moment? Or I'm sure there's a number of them, but is there one that takes the cake?
Yeah, this actually encompasses a chapter in the book. I told this story a few times. I think the first time I told it was on The Fighter and the Kid, and I can skip over most of it so people can listen to it there. But the single worst jumping experience I ever had in my life was in Afghanistan, doing a tandem with an interpreter.
Oh, wow.
And we were not too far from a sovereign nation. My GPS ceased to function. My passenger, who I did not know until we were already airborne, had never been in an aircraft, let alone an aircraft in flight at night. This is full nighttime, 2 O2 bottles, one for him, one for me, rucksack, weapon, the full 9. And when he observed the first people leaving the aircraft, he decided that that was the time to no longer be a part of this evolution. So we fought to get to the ramp. We went out in what I would call a very unstable body position. Thankfully, the guy who actually put me through the tandem program, a guy named Jonesy, was holding on to my drogue. And this is not an uncommon thing. When you jump the bundles, somebody is standing. The drogue is, again, it's a small parachute that is attached to a tether. And that tether then goes all the way down, and it's basically a metal disc that is on your main pack tray. And what it does is it can slow, 2 bodies can go out. They have the same surface area as one, but double the weight, so it'll fall really, really fast. This tether with the parachute, and you see this on civilian tandem operations, that's why they can have somebody flying next to them videoing, because 2 people are falling at the speed of 1 because of that drogue parachute. When that drogue parachute is out, you are kind of suspended vertically. You could spin rapidly on a horizontal plane, but you can't. I have never seen anybody who can go vertically, because it's, you know what I mean? You are falling and putting weight on that drogue parachute from above. So when we jump the bundles, you execute a self set, meaning you push a bundle out, you let go, and you reach back and you set your own drogue. Beyond that, most people will have somebody who is holding onto that drogue on the ramp, and they sit there and they hold it until it is physically ripped out of their hands. Thankfully, I had Jonesy doing that for me on that aircraft, because I think I got out conservatively 10 seconds after the last jumper. And those airplanes are cooking, and it's per second, it's 100 meters. So every second that goes by, and I'm fighting with this guy, and we go out, and we went out feet first, not optimal at nighttime on nods.
Is he screaming? Like,
I don't know. He had an O2 mask on.
Maybe.
Thank God Jonesy set the drogue. I felt it tug. You can feel it. It's because, especially when you start to have some experience. This is like jiu-jitsu. You don't even know what the hell is going on when you first start. You mentioned purple belt. You see things that you didn't see before. You feel things you didn't feel. The world opens up. So same thing with skydiving. When you first jump, the very first jump you do, you're like, I have an altimeter on. And that's all you see. Thousands of jump later, you're sitting there thinking like, man, did I set up the transfer for the electrical bill this month? You know what I mean? Other things come into your mind because you have more awareness of what's going on. So I felt the drogue set, meaning it had reached the length of its tether and it had inflated. As soon as I felt that, I reached down and I deployed the main parachute. We were spinning at the time, so we had the canopy open, but we had line twists. With the line twist, though, you can't really control the direction, because if you were to pull on one of your toggles, those toggles, they just go up with the rest of your lines, so they're all wrapped up as well. You could actually induce a pretty gnarly dive or a malfunction you might have to cut away from if you were able to like pull on one of those toggles and a good distance came down and then it cinched. You may not be able to stop the turn. So you leave the toggle stowed and you got to get out of this stuff. Mind you, all of this though, I don't know where I am other than over Afghanistan. I can hear other people who are a part of this already on the radio, checking in. They're already orienting and flying towards the objective. I don't even know where the fuck I am. So I get those out, and the first thing I try to do is orient myself. I can't see anybody. There's a variety of different ways they can illuminate themselves, especially under night vision goggles. I did a full 360-degree turn. I didn't see any of them. I reached down to try to get my GPS. It had slid in between us. I fired the thing up. It had factory reset. So I swear to this day that we were over Singapore for some reason. This is almost 20 years in the rearview mirror, and maybe this is just my mind playing tricks, but I can tell you for a fact it was factory reset. Still can't see anybody. Passenger reaches up, grabs a toggle, and starts pulling a control toggle, which starts diving the canopy in one direction. So I have to get him to stop doing that. He does it on the other side, stop doing that. While trying to get this GPS, all I can see underneath me is mountains at nighttime. No marking, no idea if I'm headed in the right direction, the wrong direction. I think the only radio call I made was, hey guys, we're not going to make it tonight. I'll hit you up when I was on the ground. And I didn't turn it off, but I just ignored everything else on the radio because there's nothing that was going to help me. I was on my own, not intentionally, but meaning I had to solve the problems that I was dealing with because everybody else was doing their thing and I had to sort it. So eventually got the GPS out, trying to hit the buttons. My gloves were all slippery, trying to figure out why. So I ended up taking my O2 mask off. We were low enough, undoing the Velcro with my teeth, biting it off with my fingers and just spitting my gloves out into space. I start feeling my passenger like going rigid, then relaxing, rigid, then relaxing. Thought we were flying through a cloud, realized he had filled up his O2 mask with vomit and it was just coming out the ejection port and was flying onto me, and that's what was making it slippery on my GPS.
Dude.
Mind you, I had just bit off my gloves that were slippery. Yeah. So gave up on the GPS and just picked a riverbed. And I was a point man for years. I love being a point man. I love navigation. And oftentimes I would celestially navigate for one particular leg. Knowing where the North Star is great, but being able to pick out a constellation, like sweet, for the next 30 minutes, I'm just going to walk at that constellation. I thought about giving that a try under nods. I don't know if you've ever tried this. There's a lot more stars. They're a lot brighter. So none of that worked. So at some point I finally just realized we're going to have to land and I need to pick something out. And it looked like just hills, mountains, and I picked what I thought was the most effective riverbed and landed us in the riverbed. I'm not going to lie, I drove that guy into the ground and rode him like a skid plate on helicopter skids. My body did not touch the ground until after we stopped moving. Unclipped him, got everything else off of me, went up to some high ground, got my gun, got back on comms, got my other GPS up and running, took a deep breath, and then just started coordinating. They pushed an AC-130 over, and then an ODA team, of all things, came out and got us in a truck. That was the worst jumping experience of my life.
Man.
Yeah.
I mean, holy shit.
Just a lot.
Did that guy...
he quit the next day.
I imagine. I'm surprised he didn't die of a heart attack midair. Or suffocate in his own vomit.
Yeah.
Did you interact with him at all after that? Were you like, dude, what the fuck?
I wasn't in the phase yet where I was ready to have that level of conversation. I was still pretty emotionally involved with what was going on. We got back to FOB, and he just fell down on a rack and went to sleep for like 20 hours. And then I think they landed a C-130, or they might have come and picked us up in helicopters, but we made our way back to Bagram. And he was like, yeah, I actually don't like doing this.
Yeah.
And that was the end of that.
Elevation-wise, how long were you under canopy? How long was that entire...
Felt like about 7 years, realistically.
Half my career or so.
Probably 15 minutes.
Yeah. Do you know when you landed how far you were from where you were supposed to be?
Oh, like 50 kilometers.
No shit.
Oh, yeah, I was flying in the wrong direction, shockingly enough.
Man. It's amazing that you were able to be recovered and not taken hostage.
We did not cross any borders. We just invaded a portion of the country that didn't have much going on.
Man. That is gnarly.
It was something like this. The guy, Jonesy, who set my drogue, got out even later than I did because he waited until the drogue got snatched. Then he jumped out. So that's probably 15 seconds from the last jumper. We were already laterally separated by 1.5 kilometers.
Yeah. And
he landed off somewhere else by himself. They picked him up as well. It was a proper shit show.
Man, that was crazy. I assume that because it was tandem and the entire shit showedness was derived from having the tandem passenger. Was that a struggle at all to jump again, or was it like, no, I don't have another I don't have this guy with me, so like it's not going through your head.
There's how you want things to go, and then there's how they go sometimes.
Yeah.
You ever had a dog bite you when you didn't want him to?
Every time it's been when I didn't want him to.
I bet you're still training dogs, aren't you? You got to get back on the horse.
Yeah, but I will say, like,
I started asking more questions, like, "Hey, are you familiar with the theory of flight?
Yeah.
Have you ever been on an airplane?"
Man, have you eaten today?
Yeah.
Man, that's crazy. Yeah, I mean, I've been bit a bunch of times, and
Yeah.
I will say, like, in every instance, it obviously doesn't change my desire to want to do it. But with that particular dog, the next interaction or two is a little more pucker factor and a little bit of unsuredness, where I'm even more hyper aware of what I'm doing and what I'm not doing.
Well, I mean, there are lessons learned from everything, success and failures. So in that situation, when we realized that we were going to do the jump, I went to go pack the parachute, and Jonesy actually got the passenger in his harness and briefed the passenger. So we didn't meet until we were on the airplane. I did change that for any future jumps. The meet would be before the aircraft. We would at least talk in an environment where you didn't have to yell over the whine of an aircraft or try to do it over a radio. So there's lessons learned. Yeah. And it's not like, and Jonesy, again, he ran the JSOC tandem course. He was he's more qualified than I am to this day to do that type of jumping. So nothing but the utmost trust and faith in him to get the passenger ready to go. Neither of us just ever thought to ask about, like, hey, have you ever been in an airplane? Yeah. But we also didn't meet before. Like, there's a lot of things that we changed to enhance efficiency going forward.
Did you talk with your passenger afterwards? Like, was there ever a point where you confronted him or just said, like, dude, what were you thinking, or any of that?
Not really.
You just washed your hands?
No, because, I mean, basically, as soon as the guy woke up, because we were getting recovered to go back to Bagram, by the time we got there, I mean, I had all of my stuff I had to take care of as it was anyway. Yeah. And then I never saw the guy again.
Yeah, wow. That leads me to the 2023 Legacy Expeditions team.
Yep, the 777.
Yeah, 6 days, 6 hours, 6 minutes.
I think that's made up, if I'm being honest, because what are the odds?
666?
Yeah, what are the odds?
Yeah.
But whatever, we were trying to do 7 continents, 7 jumps, 7 continents, 7 days. I didn't have I started a stopwatch in Antarctica, and then because I'm an idiot, I swiped the app closed. Thankfully, other people smarter than me started one back. That's amazing technology in our pocket, limited by the monkey that's using it, right? I knew that's literally what I needed. I was planning on doing a bunch of video shots with it as we were like flying all over the world. And I'm like listening to music on one of the commercial flights, and you just get in that habit, like, what screens are open? You're like, and I remember I was like, oh, I don't think that's recoverable. But fortunately, just about everybody did. I don't know if he really hit the ground. So the timer started on the first jump when the first jumper's feet hit the ground, and ended when the last jumper's feet hit the ground at the last location. I just find it statistically improbable that in our attempt to do 777, we hit it right on the minute 666. Come on.
Yeah. So for those who are completely unaware of what we're talking about, can you give the Reader's Digest of what that was?
Okay, so 2023, we actually started looking at it a year before that. Again, what can you do with the skills that we have from our career? Unless you are in that career, a lot of them have a real shelf life or no applicability to the outside world.
Write books or start drama online.
That's or a good skill set. Both.
Yeah, or both. All of the above.
There's actually a lot of research out about, there's a reason that Red Bull, on a lot of Red Bull's pictures, there's blue sky behind things flying through the air. It grabs people's attention. Skydiving is awesome for the person doing it. I'm not so sure how awesome it is for somebody looking at just a picture who's never jumped. But if the research shows they'll stop and take a look at it, what a great way to get people's attention. What do you do with that attention? You could, I guess, try to get some fame and notoriety, or you could try to give back and raise money. So on this particular one, we were working with Folds of Honor, which is an organization based on educational scholarships for Gold Star families, and they've opened it up to first responders as well, which I think is an amazing thing. And not that people hadn't done jumps on 7 continents, but I think the record before was like 6 months, because the person was probably part and parceling the cost of doing it. And what was the rush anyway? I don't even think there was a record before that. So the person was just doing it and maybe just realized they were the first to do it afterwards. So we decided we wanted to smash that record and put it into something that probably wasn't going to be achievable, so it would stay on the board for a bit. So what better than, 7 continents, cool, 7 jumps, 7 days. And then you got to reverse engineer it. How are you going to do that? Oh, and by the way, all commercial airline travel, economy class.
Oh, man.
So we started in Antarctica because that had the most variable weather conditions and was the hardest to access or get out of. And if you're there, I think you're there for a minimum of 7 days. That's just when they have the rotator flights come in and out. And there's a full operation. There's people who are just tourisming down in Antarctica and Union Glacier. It was super cool. So I never went down. I'm here to report there's no ice wall, alien base, or laser beams that I saw, at least. Perhaps I didn't get taken to the right location for the flat earthers. But we did, Antarctica is where we started, and we hit a fantastic weather window. And the owners of ALE, Antarctica Logistics and Exploration, Mike McDermott, awesome. We got one jump in. We had a weather window like 3 days in. We're like, listen, we're going to do a jump. And worst case scenario, we have the clock started and we could be here for another 3 days and it'll end up being 7 continents, 10 days, whatever. Well, there was another window the day we were supposed to leave. And so we packed up all of our stuff, sent everybody over to the ice runway, which is legitimately on blue ice, and an Iceland Air 730, a commercial airliner comes in. Everybody's over there. Then they spun up an otter for us. And we went up and jumped within the hour that the Iceland airplane was supposed to show up. Everybody got out, got on the ground, which restarted our clock. Then we went straight over, and then we were off and running.
Wow.
They were awesome. They totally facilitated what we were trying to do. And so then we went from there to Chile.
Are all the jumps altitude-wise about the same?
Antarctica was the lowest. I think we got out at 10.
Okay.
Which was plenty, because any higher, it just gets colder. And let me just tell you, Antarctica, it's like Dumb and Dumber. Like, I got this extra set of gloves. Yeah, most skydiving operations, you're going to get out at 13.5 AGL. There's some that'll do up to 18. I think actually we did 18 in Australia.
And nothing fancy, just everybody out and
get out of the plane. Yeah. Get out of the plane, survive, test gravity, and survive. Deploy your parachute, land on the ground, don't get hurt, and let's keep going. So we went from there to Santiago, Chile. Then we went Santiago, Chile to Miami. Miami to Barcelona. Barcelona to UAE. UAE to Cairo. Cairo to Australia. Is that 7? Who knows how many that is? There might be something else in there I forgot.
Yeah, it sounds like 7.
Yeah. If that was 6, then we jumped somewhere else in between. I can't. It was years ago.
Yeah. Were there any hiccups jump wise?
Jump wise, no. We landed in Miami. We're getting ready to drive up to the drop zone, and we all got a email from American Airlines. And the day we landed was the first time ever that the FAA NOTAM system went down. So all outbound flights were shut down. So we're like, okay, we'll solve this along the way. And we drove up to the drop zone it was north of Miami. We landed in Miami, but we didn't jump in Miami. We drove up north, and we're just problem solving it. We're trying to figure out what we're going to do. And what we solved was we have to get a charter aircraft for one leg from where we were over to Barcelona. Put together a plan. Initially, we paid for it ourselves by pooling our money it was well into the 6 figures to pay for it. Then sponsors reached out and covered the cost for us. But we were going to do it out of our own pockets. And originally, the money did come out of our own pockets to pay for it. It was paid back later. But that was the only hiccup travel-wise. We didn't have anybody lose a bag. We didn't have a delayed flight. Like, unbelievable. Because we had the jumpers. Then we had, like, Kirk Parsley was with us. We had a couple of other people. So even just one missed flight, we would have had to rebook 15 people, assuming that they, you know what I mean, that they even had that many seats available on the next plane.
Right. Wow. Were you guys actually staying in any of these locations?
We stayed overnight in UAE and Cairo, only because there was a length of time in between the flights where it made sense to actually just go get some sleep.
Yeah. Or are those 2 nights the only nights that you really slept? Or are you trying to sleep on a plane otherwise? Or
definitely trying to sleep on a plane, which exhaustion helps with. But, oh man, We did not. No, we jumped and then we went back to the airport in Chile, but we didn't stay overnight. We just stayed for a couple hours and got some sleep. We didn't stay in Barcelona. Yeah, I think that was it.
And food-wise, just eating on the go as you go, like.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
airport sushi roulette.
Man, that's wild. What did it end up doing for Folds of Honor?
I never ended up looking at the total, but again, it was a couple $100,000, and their scholarships go out at $5,000 chunks or $7,000 chunks. And I mean, I don't care if we only got one. You know what I mean? I can't think of a more honorable cause than trying to elevate people, and especially those who've been left behind.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, that's awesome.